think, BT, we're going to see a more important, more telling week of football for both local teams than what we have ahead of us come Sunday for week 2 here? Giants, we've talked about it. It is a must-win for them. And along the way, obviously, there have to be things that you see in this game, but they have to win this football game.
Yep.
No doubt. You cannot start 0-2 and you can't get blown out by the Cowboys on Sunday night and embarrass yourselves and then lose to one of the worst teams in the NFL and the Cardinals. And then with the Jets, we talked about the Jets a lot this week for different reasons other than week 2. But if you now look ahead to this week 2 matchup, and we know Zach Wilson's going to be under center, and I feel like, people are like, oh, well, the Jets could lose the game and still be okay, which may be true. However, what if they don't? What if they play well? What if they compete with the Cowboys here? It's a 9-point spread or whatever it is, meaning that people are kind of overlooking that they're going to be competitive in this game. This can be telling one way or another. Bad if Zach Wilson's awful and they do get run out of the building, or good in that they compete. This is a very telling week, too.
It's big. It's big. But I process this out like what I want versus what I need. I want the Jets to win. I want Zach to play well. I need the Giants to win. Yeah, I mean, there's a difference there because, to me, the big game for the Jets is next week.
But that's a lesser opponent.
But it's the Patriots who they never beat. So there's that. There's Zach at home, which is either going to be good or Boo Birds, which kind of sets a tone. I actually think the Jets going to hang around Dallas, and I'm going to give a puncher's chance to squeeze out an improbable win based on the odds. I mean, the defense is there. Special teams good. Whenever they play Dallas recently, they beat them. They certainly play well. They've really acquitted themselves well against Dallas. But the Giants, and I expect the Giants to win, I do.
Right.
But
who doesn't at this point, right?
Yeah. Well, yes. Yeah.
The point spread may be a different story, but it feels like, which also, by the way, worries me a little bit.
Sure. It's like we're giving them the win, which we probably should not do.
We're basing it on nothing.
Yeah.
Literally nothing.
It's based on last year.
Oh, but what does that have to do with this year?
Nothing. It's dangerous.
It might be based off of more that the Cardinals suck, because it can't be anything that the Giants did because they did nothing on Sunday night.
Literally. And then they've got a quick turnaround. Then they're staying out west. Then they got to play the Niners on Thursday. And they got Seattle. Seattle didn't look very good the other day. I get it, but Seattle beat them a year ago. Then they're down to Miami. Then they're up in Buffalo. Like, the Giants absolutely, unequivocally must win this game. And the other thing that must happen is Andrew Thomas and Darren Waller must emerge unscathed physically. Both of them did not practice the other day. They've been limited. We know Thomas went for the imaging the other day after the Cowboys game. Waller went into the Cowboys game with the hamstring already barking, which he had previously as an issue with the Raiders. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. And I know I'm kind of throwing both teams out here, but that's the whole purpose. If the Jets go to Dallas and they get waxed 33-10 and Zach has 3 picks or 2 picks and a fumble and a pick 6 and the offense is 3 and out, punt fest, I mean, it's going to be dispiriting. But you'll have a chance to kind of correct things the next week. Giants must win.
All right, but let me paint it this way. Season defining in a way for the Jets, and we're in agreement that the Giants have to win based on results. Now, certain things have to happen in this game to make you believe in the Giants again, but results-wise, they have to win. The Jets do not, because they got the win on Monday night, even without Aaron Rodgers. Obviously, they get the win, so they don't have to win this game. However, the same way that I went into thinking Sunday night that the Giants closed the gap on the Eagles or the Cowboys, they had to show me something there. And obviously, they got blown out, and they showed something that now, to me, is definitive that they will not ever this year be on the level of those top teams in the NFC. The Jets can show you something here one way or another. If they get smoked by Dallas, then it's going to be back to, oh, crap, here we go again with last year, and then you start to worry about the Patriots game. You worry about Zach Wilson. You worry about potentially who's next. That's a scenario that is realistic.
Yeah.
Another realistic scenario is they compete in this game. Whether they win or not, I think is less important than how they play this game. If they have a chance to win, if Wilson looks good.
That's fair.
That, to me, is what's important. And then, now you start to believe in Wilson. Now you say this defense is legit. They just went toe-to-toe with arguably the best team in the NFC, or at least top 3 in the NFC.
Yep.
That can shape the way that we feel about them moving forward as well, even regardless of a loss.
Listen, I'm with you on that. Like, even if the Jets were to win like something nutty, 30-6, whatever, I always worry about the Patriots. I mean, It doesn't matter what happens. So I always worry about them. This is really almost micro analyzing what's in front of them. But like, say if the Jets do win, right?
Right. Dude, how pumped up are you going to be if the Jets win this game? You'd be impossible to take.
I mean, I might not make it back from Dallas. I'm going to be out there and be partying for 2 straight days with 100 Jet fans who are coming out there with me. No, it'll be insane, right? Like, if they were to win. Now, look at it this way. All right, so they already have a divisional win against the Bills. The Bills have a loss. The Patriots have lost. The Dolphins have won. And, if the Jets were to improbably start 2-0, and I say improbably based on the Rodgers injury.
Then you're looking at 3-0.
It starts to set at least a possible domino where they can win a lot of games this year.
Well, that's my point.
I know.
It's a season-defining week for both teams for different reasons. Giants need the result. If the Jets get the result, forget it. Now people are going to be going nuts. They're already going nuts even without Rodgers. As you know, BT, you were the first one to really go nuts here. So if the Jets could win that game, obviously there's going to be big momentum. But even if they could compete in a game where they're 9-point underdogs on the road with a backup quarterback against that impressive Dallas team that destroyed the Giants, that is going to define them in a way, even with a loss that I don't think a lot of people think that they can be. I think most people expect them to get blown out. Vegas does, and you always talk about it. Vegas knows what they're doing.
Yeah.
So it could be season-defining for both these teams this week.
See, this is where I'm going to differ a little bit. I'm going to stop short. Season-defining. Now, you want to tell me a springboard-ish, but season-defining, like, you've got to incorporate the positive, and I get that. Like, if the Jets were to win, then it could possibly start to
it doesn't
really
change
truly,
how you feel if they win this game?
It will, but it won't change necessarily, even if they lose, who I think they could still be. That's why I'm not co-signing season-defining. Whereas with the Giants, if the Giants lose, their season is over.
Would you say week 1 was season-defining for the Giants?
No, because...
Not even to an extent of where you now know definitively they're not anywhere close to being a top team?
Keep in mind, I didn't love them coming in.
Understood.
So that I'm just speaking for myself. Listen, I was surprised they lost 40-zip. And when you look at the last 2 games they played, 78-7 against 2 divisional opponents, Eagles playoffs, Dallas the other night, that's very alarming. But, let's face it. I know it's all gloom and doom for the Giants, and I know the Cardinals aren't good at all. They're supposed to be the worst team in football. And, if and when the Giants win, it's not going to get back all of the concerns back in terms of equity in the court of public opinion. But the Giants have a chance to show a little resolve here that I'm not fully expecting. Like, I think that there's this notion the Giants hop on the plane today or tomorrow. I think it is tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow. They fly out, they show up, and they win 30-6.
Right.
I don't know that that's going to happen. I mean. First series, Andrew Thomas, that MRI, God forbid, goes. I mean, that would be worst case, God forbid. Or Waller is just a decoy. Giants aren't going to blow him out.
Yeah, maybe season-changing more so than season-defining week 1 for me. I thought the Giants could compete with those top teams. They showed that they were nowhere close. Now they need the result. Like, you could have lost that game against Cowboys. You couldn't lose it 40-0 and be taken seriously. But now they have to win just to save their season. And for the Jets, I feel the way that I did for the Giants going into week 1, where that they can show everybody something here. With Zach Wilson, with that defense, some people believe in them. Other people think they're going to get blown out. Don't believe. They can show people what they are. If they compete, put it this way. Will Zach Wilson face a tougher challenge than this? Week 2, Rodgers injured, that defense on the road, like out of the gate.
Yes, he will.
Which one?
The next week.
Oh, but
for different reasons.
But they're home against New England, who's a
that
lesser
makes it,
team.
That makes it tougher because think about this. You got one of the Patriots beat the Jets 14 times in a row.
I understand that rivalry, but
no, it's not about the rivalry. It is.
They should beat the Patriots, even with Zach Wilson. They should beat them.
They should have beat them last year, and they didn't. Should have beat them. I get that they should.
If they don't,
but they don't.
All right, but if they don't, they're not going to the postseason. If you do not beat New England, I'm serious. BT, if you don't beat New England
you're
at home,
supposed to scratch out at least one win against them. You lose a tight one in Foxborough, I guess.
You can live with it.
You can live
At
with it, but you
home.
got to win. Yes, but the reason why I say next week is almost more important in a weird way. There's already built-in excuses. Rodgers got hurt. First game, first week, Zach's taking the starter reps in practice. Dallas defense is awesome. Maybe the best in foot. Jets defense is good. Dallas might be slightly better. Might be in terms of this ferocious pass rush. Might be. It's on the road. The team's still mentally jarred from what happened with Rodgers. There's at least a built-in. I'm not saying I fully subscribe to this, but there's at least a built-in excuse or out, again, on the road against a power team.
That's what I'm saying. Against that defense.
I'm saying, so if they lose, okay, there's context to the loss. And now if it's 50-7, that's different. But you lose to the Patriots at home again, and Wilson and Darnold and all the quarterbacks who've been swallowed up by Belichick, that could be terminal. That could prove terminal.
Nobody expects to win this week. I shouldn't say nobody.
I think they got a chance to win. I do.
But you don't expect them to win.
I don't expect them to. I expect the four-quarter game. I think it'll cover. I expect.
See, that would show me something. If they play competitive football against Dallas, I will change my view of what I think they are post Aaron Rodgers. Now I'll think differently in this game because of the circumstance. Defense on the road, as you mentioned, young quarterback. BT and Sal on the Fan are friends at Town Fair Tire. Remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Rick is calling from Tampa. What's up, Rick?
Hey, happy Football Friday, guys.
Happy Football Friday. What's up, Rick?
What's going on, Rick? Hey, let's go.
What's up, guys? I'm psyched and pumped, but I got to tell you, first, BT, I got to ask you this question because I haven't had a chance to get in this week.
Okay.
Would your frame of mind and trust with the Jets been the same if they would have lost that game against Buffalo versus getting lucky on that run back?
Well, I wouldn't say lucky.
Question.
it was very good execution, but
that was lucky.
I get you. That's a good question.
That's my first one.
I think listen, when I woke up, even with the win, I told the story the other day. I walked into Boomer before that ridiculous rant. I walked into Boomer and Gio's studio just to say hi, and I'm like, I was done. I was beyond despondent. The win helped eradicate the despondency faster, and kind of triggered some optimism that might not have been there if they lost. To be fair, maybe not. I don't know.
And it gives you the cushion, like you said, for this week. Okay, so that being said, the Giants, so much concerns. My main concerns going into this game is that, our edge rushers, is Thibodeau. Can we get to the quarterback? We still haven't been able to do that.
Thibodeau's got to make his presence felt, for goodness sake.
Yeah, he has to make it tough. And this whole thing with Daniel Jones getting hit on the sideline, nobody stuck up for him. I don't understand why somebody just level that guy who hit him on that out of bounds play. I'm concerned about that, and the whole Waller being a like you said, he could be hurt.
Well, he said he felt better going into this week now. So look, those are, and thanks for the call, Rick. Obviously, injury concerns. That's aside from what we need to have happen here, and even without Waller, Giants have to go in there and win the football game. I don't want to hear any excuses. But, hey, it's football. It's sports. Injuries happen all the time. Go beat the inferior team. The Giants are better here. They're better coached. At least we thought that they were. There's no excuse. The Cardinals are one of the worst teams in the league. I don't care where the game's being played.
They're trying to lose.
The Giants got to win.
Tank.
The Giants have to win this game, and they should win it handedly. BT.
Well, I'm not gonna say handily because I don't believe the Giants have as much talent as others do. Handily, I don't know if I'm going to say once this year the Giants should win handily, but I do think that they will.
Well, if they can't beat the Cardinals handily, who the hell are they going to beat?
The Cardinals, the Commanders didn't beat them handily,
and the Commanders stink.
But the Giants split with them last year.
But Daniel Jones and Sam Howell, you're talking about. I watched a lot of that game.
I know you did. Commanders have some talent,
because I took the stupid Commanders in the knockout pool, and I had to sweat it out the whole game.
Yeah.
But Daniel Jones, and that's another conversation. I understand that he should put the Giants in a better position than Howell could put the Commanders in against this crappy Cardinals team.
Well, this is where you and I fundamentally disagreed when we unpacked the Giants on Monday. To me, Daniel Jones had zero chance to flourish. I know there was one or two. Eventually, you got to make a play on Sunday night. Hike, balls in his. You got three guys in his face. So Daniel Jones was running for his life. He almost looked like Carr with the Texans back in the days, a rookie when he got sacked almost 80 times. So that's got to improve. Now, I'll tell you this real fast. The Giants weren't only embarrassed on the scoreboard, but which is bad enough, all right, by a divisional foe. Again, they cannot beat Dallas. It's embarrassing. And I know you saw this, the clips, either NFL films, some guys were mic'd up. They were laughing at the New York Giants. Dallas Cowboy players with hot mic, they knew they were mic'd up. They didn't even care.
Yeah.
They're basically saying, this team stinks. Stop doing what they were basically telling the Giants, stop what you're trying to do because you won't succeed. If that alone, plus Daboll's rage this week that he unleashed on that team during practice, if they don't come out crisply in the first quarter, that tells you a lot about this team.
Agreed. Eric is calling from Manorville. What's up, Eric?
Hey.
Hold on, sorry, guys. Hey, BT, Sal, how are you?
What's up, Eric?
Listen, BT.
Yes.
I'm a diehard Jet fan.
Okay.
3 years of age. I had season tickets 97, 98, 99.
Gotcha.
Same time as you.
Gotcha.
I was never so excited for a season in my life. And then it was ripped apart. But that rant and how you got me through it the other day, thank you. We're going to the playoffs.
That's right.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sal.
I know it.
I hear you.
Tell Sal.
I hope Sal listening.
I'm here. Yeah, you're going to the playoffs. I heard it. Yeah, I heard it. I heard it. Can we watch Zach Wilson first? Can he have some success? Here's what I find. And Eric, for the record, I'm rooting for you. And BT, you know this. I've talked about it, and thanks for the call.
Yep.
Like, this is where I have an issue internally. I am rooting for both these teams. I want success for both the Jets and the Giants. I have a tough time buying into Jet fans like yourself, like Joe B., like now Eric, that just suffered possibly the worst thing that's ever happened to the franchise in its pathetic history.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all of a sudden, now's the time where you just lost Aaron Rodgers for the year. Now's the time we're going to be puffing out your chest saying, we're going to the playoffs. Like, where has this been? Now, to be fair to you, BT, you've always been that confident. Like you said, you won't accept the loser mentality.
Oh, by the way, there have been times in my Jets fandom where I've gone up and down like a lunatic, where I absolutely subscribe to the torment, almost the perpetual torment that I would never be able to lose it. I'm not saying I'm above that. It's happened to me too.
But I meant like the Jets are going to jet
yeah,
type nonsense.
Yeah, no, not with this roster.
Right.
And no,
now,
I'm not. No way.
however, the reality is, and this is what is tough to take. The reality is they have not made the playoffs in 13 years. They have the same quarterback now that all of you guys, not you, BT, all of you guys wanted out of here 2 years ago, especially last year, but even 2 years ago. Now, I'm supposed to believe that a team that hasn't made the postseason in 13 years with that same quarterback that I know 90% of Jet fans can't stand, not you or I but that they can't stand, that all of a sudden you're going to pound your chest and say, we're going to the playoffs and nothing's changed. And this, like, that's tough to take.
Well, I can see that. I mean, listen, generally, I am in need of evidence on some level to take what is perceived to be a fairly sizable step forward in confidence. You know what I mean? Like, and here's the little thing from last year that I think you're forgetting. They were 7-4 with this quarterback that 90+% of the Jet fan wanted out.
Remember, I like him.
No, I know you do.
Right.
I know. So they were 7-4, and he did not have Dalvin Cook for a snap, and he had Breece Hall basically for a game.
Well, their season, when people were saying it was a quarterback, their season was over when AVT and Breece Hall got hurt. Once that happened, they were done.
Yes.
And then it became unfair to rip. I mean, it became popular, but it was really, to me, unfair to rip Zach Wilson. So I get that. All I'm saying is, like, the Jet fan is now taking on the mentality that I was at least giving the Jets some crap for, like, all the hype, all the talk, and they've accomplished nothing. How about this? I'll give you this. You don't even have to win this week. Compete. Make this a competitive game.
They will.
A game that they can win on Sunday.
They will.
If that's the case, on Monday I'll say, okay, I'm with you. I believe in this team. Win or lose, compete in this
game.
Well,
here's newsflash to my partner. We don't need your affirmation. We don't need you to get on the air Monday and say, "Wow, Jets, you were very now I believe."
Right.
We don't care if you believe.
Right.
We honestly don't.
Right, but
we don't need you. Stick with your Giant sweatshirt that you're wearing today, which, by the way, is a nice contrast to what I'm wearing. Right. We don't need you. Yeah. We don't need anybody.
That's fine.
We don't need anybody.
That's fine, but I'm here to be the teller of truth. Like, the Jet fans need a dose of reality, and I have a hard time understanding that fan base needs a dose of reality. When the reality has been, you're the laughing stock of the league.
The reality also is they're one of 16 teams who are 1-0.
But BT, you're taking bows after 1 week. Patriots
but
lost.
But it's against the team that a lot of people think could get to the Super Bowl.
Kansas City lost. The Bengals lost.
I got news for you. Sal, it's early. It's early. I'm not taking bows. Yeah. It's early. I got news for everybody. In all the things that was said this week, this probably was not, but should have been said. The Jets own Josh Allen. The Jets own Josh Allen. Josh Allen does not know how to play well against the Jets. Evidence Monday night. Evidence last year.
And Zach Wilson got him twice, too. I mean, there you go. So, I'm saying Zach Wilson's teams beat him twice. So, I'm with you there.
Yep.
I mean, come on. Can we see a little bit more?
You will.
Jeez.
You will.
Brandon Tierney, Sal Licata, 877-337-6666. Jets, Giants, big week 2 matchups ahead. I think season defining in certain ways. We'll find out what happens here. Giants need a win, no question about it. Jets need to compete. More of your calls on the other side.